You won't believe this kid's voice. Filipino Elvis wins everyone's hearts. The lights of America's Got Talent flickered across the stage, painting a sea of gold, blue, and red. Backstage, a small boy with slick back hair clutched an old, slightly cracked guitar. His name was Liam Cruz, just 12 years old, from a tiny fishing village in the Philippines. His hands trembled as he rubbed his thumb along the worn strings, the same guitar his father had played before the typhoon took everything. The crowd beyond the curtain roared for the last act, but all Liam could hear was the echo of his father's voice, "When you sing, Anak, sing from your heart. That's where real music lives." Liam had traveled halfway across the world for this one shot. His mother sold her wedding ring to afford the ticket to Los Angeles. "Make them feel your heart, baby," she whispered at the airport. He had never sung before such a massive audience, but he wasn't here for fame or money, he was here for something bigger. He wanted to show the world that hope could rise from the ruins, that even the smallest voices could heal broken hearts. When the stage manager called his name, Liam stepped into the blinding light. The audience gasped, a tiny boy in a white rhinestone jacket, hair combed high like a 1950s rock star. The judges exchanged curious glances. Simon Cowell raised an eyebrow, a faint smirk tugging at his lips. "What's your name, young man?" Simon asked. "My name's Liam, from the Philippines," he said softly, his accent gentle and shy. "And what will you be singing tonight?" "Elvis Presley's Can't Help Falling in Love," Liam replied. The audience murmured. Another Elvis impersonation? They'd seen hundreds. But when the first notes left Liam's lips, deep, velvety, and soulful beyond his years, the room froze. It wasn't imitation. It was emotion. His voice carried the ache of 1,000 untold stories. The grief of loss, the sweetness of love, and the innocent hope of a child who believed the world could still be kind. Simon leaned forward, his usual stoic expression melting into awe. Sofia Vergara clasped her hands over her heart. Even Heidi wiped a tear. And as Liam's final notes soared through the auditorium, a silence so thick you could feel it settled over the crowd, the kind that only comes after something pure touches the soul. Then, like a wave, applause erupted. The audience rose to its feet, cheering, crying, shouting his name. Liam stood frozen, blinking under the lights, overwhelmed. He thought of his father's guitar, of his mother waiting in a small house by the sea, watching through an old TV with spotty reception. Simon's voice broke through the roar. "Liam," he said slowly, "I've heard thousands of singers, but what you just did wasn't just singing. That was heart. That was magic." And before Liam could even react, Simon stood up, and hit the golden buzzer. Gold confetti rained down like a miracle. Liam covered his face, sobbing as the judges rushed to the stage. Terry Crews lifted him in his arms. The crowd chanted his name. "Liam! Liam! Liam!" It was a moment no one would forget, not because of perfection, but because of truth. But the real story didn't end there. The next morning, Liam went viral worldwide. Millions watched his performance on YouTube, calling him the Filipino Elvis. Donations began pouring in to help his family and rebuild his village. Yet, what touched everyone even more was what Liam did next. When asked on a live interview what he wanted to do with the money, Liam smiled shyly. "I want to build a music school back home, for kids who can't afford lessons," he said. "Because I know what it's like to dream, and to think it's too far." The host teared up. Messages flooded in from around the world, music teachers offering instruments, sponsors pledging support. And back in his hometown, little children who once had no hope now sang on the beach with borrowed guitars, believing that maybe they, too, could touch the stars. Months later, Liam returned to the AGT finale. He didn't win the grand prize, but he didn't need to. When he sang again, this time dedicating the song, "If I Can Dream," to his late father, even Simon couldn't hold back tears. "You've already won," Simon said softly. You've won the world's heart. As the final note faded, Liam looked up at the sky, whispering, "We did it, Papa." That night, the internet filled with messages of love, hope, and unity. Parents played Liam's performance for their kids, teachers shared it in classrooms, and strangers across continents felt a spark of kindness rekindled in their hearts. Because in that little boy's voice, the one born in a humble Filipino village, the one who lost everything but never stopped believing, the world was reminded of something we all forget, that the purest music doesn't come from fame or fortune, but from love. And as the world slept, one mother in a small seaside home whispered into the night, "You made the world believe again, Anak." Sometimes, it only takes one voice, one brave, gentle heart, to remind humanity of its beauty. And that night, under the golden confetti and the glow of a dream fulfilled, a boy named Liam did exactly that. Because when you sing from the heart, the world listens.